Hello everyone again. Like I said in my previous video, I would also make a new one to show you how I paint my little guys. If you remember, I made this one and I painted it. So today, well, I will go through my little pretty straightforward process into how I paint these little guys. We need obviously a little bit more stuff than just the carving. I bought a little set at a hobby store here in Stockholm, so you can probably find everything that I have in one go, probably at your hobby store that you have close by to your place. So yes, what do you need? Well, just a piece of cloth to make sure that you don't mess up your table, a piece of paper to wash away the paint on your paint, a little container with paint, with water in it, somewhere to put the paint. I have this little plastic thing where I put my paint, and obviously you need a paintbrush. I have a couple, but I mainly use two. This one here is a good size to paint for me, and this little one basically for fine detail, if when I paint eyes or like this little sun thing that I painted on this guy, basically that's I use the smaller one for that. And obviously you need well, lots of paint. I will not go through all the color. I will go through them when I use them, but it's basically I have greens, yellow, red, blue, brown, white and black. Don't want to go through a full Bob Ross and list you the colors, but yes. So it's pretty simple. Let's start, because this guy, basically how we carved it, he has a helmet, a breastplate, and then I don't want him to look like one color, so I will use different color for the sleeves and the pants and then the boots. So basically I think the boots, the breastplate and the helmet will be the same color. Then I will use like this guy, basically some sort of gray to do the armor. And then I think I'll make the sleeve blue, probably the little pelt white, the pants brown, and the hands will be well, skin shade like this guy too. I have a little bit of colors. Well, the belt will also be brown. So I use acrylic paint, but I dilute them in water. When you do that, you need to apply more coating, but it gives this, I don't know, more wood look. You can still see the grain and everything. I don't want to lose that when I paint my my little guys. So yeah, let's start with the big color, which is gray. Well, if you know your color, to do gray you use white and black. What I do, I usually do 3 drops of white, 1 drops of black and 1 drops of blue, because just black and white is too dark. So I just press a little bit, put 3 dots of white, as you can see here. Yes. And I take black. With the water, it generates a lot of paint that you can apply. You can apply a coating of oil before, but obviously since I don't have any coating first, the water will soak a lot of paint. I've done one with previously with a coat of linseed oil before. I didn't personally like how it was behaving with the paint, so it's really up to you. You can apply it before, you can apply it after. If you apply it before, it will take less paint. After, it's good to protect, but I use this varnish, matte varnish, that I apply at the end when everything is dry to basically protect the wood. So when you have the color in, I have 1 blue, 1 black, 3 white. You can have like a water bottle or something. Sorry, I forgot to talk about it at first. Just something so you can just drop the couple of drop basically of water. So you see now there's water in it. Then you take your pencil and then you shake it off up until everything melts together. So you see now it looks gray. It's also super liquid, which is what I want. Alright. Because if it's acrylic, my paint is probably full of the color right now, so I just wipe it off and then I take the paint again. You will probably have to apply more than 1 coating. It's up to you, depending on what look do you want. If you only apply 1 coating, you will see the grain more, obviously, because the wood will soak everything. So I have the gray on my paintbrush, and then you just, well, go wild. So you can see that it's soaking in really, really fast. So you just apply the paint. On the top you will see it soaks even faster for obvious reason, because the grain is in that direction, so the paint is going straight. And I see I'm already out of paint on the top of my paintbrush, because the wood is soaking everything super, super fast. Good. So you see that's pretty much how it looks. If you just apply 1 coating, you can still see, I can't really zoom, but yeah, you can still see the grain. I usually apply 2 coatings or even more depending on the color. Blue is super light, so sometimes I can apply 4 or 5 coating of the same color. It dries really, really fast. You don't have to wait an hour between every coating. You're not painting a wall. And then white, even I use white for this guy. I didn't dilute the white because the color is so clear. Well, I tried at first with diluted white, and then it was literally just soaking in the wood, and there was just no color. It was just like a little faint of white in there. So I decided to use the acrylic paint straight. We'll probably do the same thing with the pelt here, because I want it to be white. You can obviously use the color that you want. It's perfectly up to you. I don't want to paint exactly the same thing, so I will make it a little bit different than green for the pelt. So yeah, that's the helmet. Same thing with the breastplate. Let's have it gray. So I'll do that, and then I will do the boots also. And for the sake of not having again an hour and 10 minutes video, I will finish that and start talking again. See you soon. Okay, so here we go. We have the gray done on all the parts that, well, I want it to be gray. It's up to you, the color, obviously. You can even, depending, that's the kind of gray that I like. It's lighter, to use 3 whites, 1 blue, 1 black. If you use 2 white, then it will be darker, obviously. If you use 2 black or anything, it will be really, really dark, so that's really up to you. How you want it. I'm almost out of gray paint here, so when I apply the second coating I will make more. Now, new colors, so wash the pencil, throw it away. Almost everything is gone already, so that's perfectly fine. Cool, alright, so the next big part is brown. So I use this, what is the name? Burnt umber. That's the paint that I usually like to use for the pants on my little guys. I just put, since I use the color straight, I just put one, and I just add water. I don't have these little, got pipette, but the water bottle is good enough. Obviously, the more water you have, the more diluted it will be. So you see, it's already dry everywhere. This paint dry and soak in the wood really fast. So same thing as before. Shake it. Well, you don't see that in the camera, but it's the same thing as the gray that I use. Remove the paint because you can see that there was a lot of the thick acrylic, yet we still just want to use the diluted. Same thing here on the pants. I realized that I didn't make a clear cut because when I was carving I was not really taking care of the paint. So the brown might soak in the gray here because there's not a clear cut between both area in the middle. I would say that it's perfectly fine. Just make sure that you don't go too wild over the other color because it's not like painting miniature and plastic or anything. The water will make the paint go along edges and things. So you might end up having unwanted color on surface you don't want, and it's harder to fix because we're not using the acrylic. So if there's a really dark color on the spot you want to have white, for example, it's kind of hard to remove it. Alright, so doing the same for the pants and now the belt. That's the little tricky part because I want to put the paint on the little top of the belt, little carving. So just I usually go from the edge and push forward lightly, slowly. You might still have a little brown and the gray and everything, but you will not really see that with a second coating of gray, and just add a little bit more depth. So I have a little bit of brown on the hand, and not a big deal. Same thing with the belt in the front. Okay. So that's it for the first coating of brown. I don't need brown anywhere else. So wash the pencil. We'll leave it in water for a little bit. So I wanted blue for the sleeves and white for the pelt. Let's do the skin. For the skin, I use 2 white, 1 white, 2 white. I use 1 red. This is Scarlet Lake. It's light red. I have 2 red. I have a deeper one than this one. So 1 red. So if you go like that, it would be really pink, which I don't really like. So I also add 1 drop of yellow ochre to kind of make it, I don't know, yes, more yellow, I guess, but it gives, I prefer this type of, well, it really looks like skin color, at least white. But, let's have a little thing. So you see the color here. I like this one a lot. I've painted a couple of more figurines and I just used white and red, and it was really pink, like almost like the cloth I have here. So it was not really what I wanted. Whereas that my hands are really square, I could have carved it a little bit more rounded yesterday, but that's what it is. Alright. Same thing, don't go too fast. Make sure that you don't paint areas you don't want, because it's not like wood, it's way harder to fix. Missing a little bit of gray here, so I'll add that later. Painting over a surface that already has color is less problematic. Like, you see, I'm doing it on purpose here, but you probably don't even see. Oh, maybe you are, yeah. There's like little pink on the pants, but it's less of a problem if there's already color, especially if it's darker. Alright, let's put the one. If you see here, the paint is sort of not diluted properly. You just give it another go. We have, obviously, with just little drops, we have so much paint that we won't need to refill this color for this guy, because we don't have a lot of skin to paint. And at the bottom, don't forget the surface. Alright. I can see that I need more gray on the sides, so I will add that later. Alright, so that's pretty simple. That's it for the heads. Okay, now let's do, I wanted to have the blue for the sleeve. Yeah, let's use light blue. I use this straight color here. I don't want to dilute it with anything, so just one little drop of blue and water. Blue is interesting. The blue I use, cobalt blue. It soaks really weirdly in the wood for whatever chemical reason that I can't explain. You will see that the diluted blue takes a lot of different layer, because you will see I will apply the blue and it's almost invisible compared to the other colors. You can almost don't see that it's blue for you, so that'll need like 3 or 4 coating probably. At least in the camera you don't really see it. For me, I can see a little faint tint of blue if I compare to the gray. So if you really want to make it blue, you could use straight the acrylic, but that would be really thick, and you will probably lose the grain, which is, well, it's up to you if you want that. I want to still see the grain to some extent, so I'll probably just add another layer. Alright, so that's it for the blue. Simple as that. Keep the paint, since we'll have more layers. And I have another spot here, but I don't need to use it, because for the, like I said earlier, for the pelt I want white. And well, diluted white doesn't work, so I'm literally just putting the paint here, little chunk of it. What I do though is I don't just dip that in. I just take a little bit of paint on both sides of my brush and I scrape it off. And then I apply the white. Try to have the least paint possible so we can still see the grain. So here you really have to be careful, because since you're using the acrylic itself, if you paint over a surface that is using diluted paint, you're pretty much done. You can't erase the white, you will always see it. Just be careful. Alright, so I will apply all the paint and yeah, see you in a moment. Just finishing the white. Just a little bit of tricky to go under all the little V-cut that we've done. Okay. So So now you could be done if you wanted. You know, that's really up to you, the look that you want to have. Let me see if I can zoom in this little guy for you a second. So you see that we can still see the grain pretty much everywhere. That's not exactly the look that I want, so I will at least give it another coating, especially for the blue. We can't see the blue at all. But it gives a little diluted look basically, and for some, I've done a couple of carving like this and it was perfectly fine. It depends, it's really up to you. So I will give another coating of every color apart from the white, because that's the acrylic, so that's perfectly fine on how it is right now. Even the hands looks like fine. I don't think I need another layer of that, but the gray for sure, and the blue especially, probably at least 2 more, and the brown, another one will be kind of great, I think. And so yeah, let's I will not have you watch the whole process. It's pretty tedious. I will also need to generate more gray because I'm out soon, so you will see that the helmet will be darker and every gray surface for the same thing. So yeah, let me just apply another coating for everything and I'll be back. So that's pretty much it. I finished applying a second coating of the gray, the brown and the skin tone. I didn't add white because, like I said, it's straight acrylic, so that's perfectly fine. It also dries so much slower. I should have said it a little bit before. So if you touch it, you will just remove the paint, so watch out for that. And then this is basically 3 coating of blue, and I'm sure it sort of look gray for you. But yeah, it looks blue. Maybe I should have went for another color, maybe green or something, to make it pop more. Because there's already some blue in the gray to make it more gray, I guess. So you would be pretty much done with this. If you want to see less green, if you want to make it more uniform, well, add more layers of paint. It's up to you. At this point, I mean, if you add too much layer, it will remove the diluted experience of the paint, I would say. One thing that I love to do last, and it's absolutely not needed, is basically dry brushing, I think that it's called. It will just make everything pops a little bit more. So I put a lot of white here, and be careful with that. So I put both my side of the pencil, I remove paint, and then I really remove as much paint as I can, so there's almost no paint left on this. And then you do back and forth movement like that on the edges of the gray part of the night. It's really tiny detail, but it basically makes the edges pop. And then you do that a couple more times wherever you want. More white will make the edges pop more, kind of make a older gray look, makes the carving pop a little bit. I'll try to show you what I'm doing in comparison with the boot. If I zoom in, let's see. Alright, so you see the boots compared to the face here. Obviously it makes the edges pop way more. Gives a little older look at the thing. So you can basically do that on, well, wherever you want on the carving, just to give it a little bit more detail. Like I said, it's really not needed. If you don't feel that it's something you want to add, well, that's really up to you. It's really not important. I kind of like it sometimes. Like I said, makes the edge of the carving pop more and gives a little, I don't know, dirtier look. Make it looks like older things. With the paint, go wild. You don't have to be precise with this. You don't have to. And the last one for the breastplate in the front. Okay. Cool. And then the last bit that I do, and once again, it's not needed if you don't want it, I sign it. So I use black, a little bit of black. Don't need a lot because, yeah. And then I take the little pencil that I have, the little one, and put it in water just to make the hair go together. A little bit of black, and then I sign the little guy on the bottom. I pretty much sign all the carvings that I sell. And I also gave them unique numbers. And this one is number 6. I have a lot more carvings, but I basically keep the ugly ones for me, and I sell the one that I find that they are good looking enough. I started selling them not so long ago, selling them because people kept asking me to buy more on Twitter, so I decided that okay, sure, let's sell a couple of them, I guess, to pay for new brushes and whatever. And that's it. Now it's signed. I'll let it dry just a little bit. It's with the grain, so it dries fairly fast, even if you're using the acrylic. And then the last step is to apply the varnish, just to make sure that, well, it preserves the wood better. Make sure that all the paint on your little figurine is really dry when you do that, because you're applying above with big stroke. Let's remove the black here to make it faster for you. That's fine anyway. So yeah, like I said, I have this matte varnish. I don't use gloss or anything. I don't want them to pop. I want them to be like, yeah, use the gloss. Stay matte so it doesn't reflect light. And this is really simple. I have a bigger paintbrush that I use only for that. Put that in water to make it soft, and yeah, this is you take a lot of it, and then you just, well, yeah, you put it everywhere in all the cracks. And then this thing takes around 15 minutes to dry, I think. So yeah. not let you watch me apply this all the way through, so see you in a couple of minutes. So here it is, guys. I applied the varnish everywhere, let it dry almost. I can see still see a little bit of light shining through, but yeah, that's our little guy. I hope you enjoy the carving and the painting, and that well, you will do more and apply your own style to it, and little more detail if you feel like I've done with this guy, basically adding a little bit more the little sun and stuff to make Solaire looks like it is, even though he's not praising the sun. Whatever. So yeah, have a good day wherever you are in the world, and see you in my next tutorial carving painting video. Bye bye.